All right, this update is brought to you by Staples Stores. We'll start with the Aztecs. Last night they beat Stanford 74-60 to improve to 10-2 on the year. Next up for the Aztecs, it's a big one. They take on Gonzaga on the road on the 29th, 6 p.m. tip-off there. Dodgers, they signed Yamamoto to a...
Yeah, don't even give his first name.
I just do last names.
Right.
Yamamoto. 12-year deal, $325 million with 50 of it for a posting fee.
50 more, right?
Yeah, so it's like 375.
Yeah, whatever.
It's fine.
Small deal.
Padres, though, countered that move, John.
With what?
They brought back
Luis
Patino off of waivers.
40 chess.
Exactly. When we zig, they zag. Staples print big sale means the more you print, the more you save. Get $20 off your print purchase of $100 or more, $50 off your print purchase of $200 or more, and $100 off your print purchase of $300 or more. Ends 2/10/24. See staples.com/print for details. Print more, save more at Staples.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? It is Jon and Jim. This is hour one. We're with you until 6 p.m. It is a little bit of a holiday edition of the show. There's a lot to get into. Jim tonight is on his way for Philadelphia and then from there, New Jersey. Now, me and Brett will be here during at least a portion of next week. There's no shows for Christmas or the day after Christmas. We have the Holiday Bowl on Wednesday. And then we have full shows on Thursday and Friday. Here today, there's a lot to get into. We have Holiday Bowl tickets still to give away, right, Brett? We have multiple pairs.
2 pairs.
Okay, so we're going to give away a pair of Holiday Bowl tickets this hour.
Love it.
So be listening. Do not go anywhere. We've got a great giveaway for you. This is an amazing holiday gift. We'll give those away coming up this hour. We will get to our reaction on Yamamoto, no first name needed, to the Dodgers, what that means for the Padres.
What is his first name?
Yoshinobu? What'd you say? Yoshishiba?
I'm thinking of
Yoshinobu.
Yoshi. Yoshi, like from Mario. Or you like you say,
Yeah.
Mario.
Mario Kart?
Yeah. Yoshi.
I just had to put a dash in between it for the update.
Yoshinobu. Okay. Yoshinobu.
Yeah, Yoshinobu Yamamoto
Makes
to the
sense.
Dodgers. What does it mean for the Padres? Are the Padres at this point just trying to finish second?
Bro, they're making
potentially
moves.
in the
Don't worry. They're
division?
making
I know.
moves.
Let's get to that. I want to react to what we found out last night that was pretty surprising. And I want to just offer our thoughts to Jon Quintera, who was let go by our competitor within the last 24 hours. And now you worked with John, with Coach Quintera for a good period of time, but like, it's never ideal. It's not, it's not just this industry. People can lose their jobs. Obviously, it's never ideal. You're talking about someone that was born and raised here and spent his career working in sports and like supporting San Diegans and talking San Diego sports. So like, I just feel for John and his family. I don't know him near as well as like you would or Darren or Marty, but every single time I've ever come across him, he's always like the sweetest man on earth. I mean, just a sweetheart of a man. So it's unfortunate. It is a part of the business. People can lose jobs in any walk of life. Nobody wants to lose a job on December 22nd or whatever today is. So just, thinking about Jon Quintera, Coach Quintera, his family, because that's an unfortunate thing considering what he's meant to a lot of people in San Diego.
So I was Coach's producer for about 6 months.
So when was that?
It was
take me back.
All right, it's 2019.
It's 29. So
We're
before you came back over,
we're just gonna open the show and
Yeah.
just go deep dive behind the curtain.
yes.
Who cares?
So this is before you come back here to work with Darren.
Yeah, so I was working across the street at the other station for about 3 years.
Is that what it was?
Yeah,
'Cause you were here,
I was here
and then you
I-
were there.
and I left. And I
Did you get that Yamamoto deal to leave?
I did not. No, I didn't. Pretty close though.
Okay.
But I was doing like the Padres stuff, and then I worked in the mornings with Dan Cilio. And then
That's a whole nother story.
It's a whole nother story. And then Coach, he ended up doing mornings for a while, and I was with Coach, and then things changed over there, and he got the 10 to 2 slot, which he's been doing for the last 4 years.
So you were producing 10 to 2?
I was with him for 10 to 2 for about 6 months. And then iHeart came calling because then Darren came back.
And you're like, peace, Coach? Basically.
I looked at it as that was a better situation for myself personally.
Right.
And so that's what happened.
And I'm sure you understood that.
Oh, absolutely. And me and Coach have a good relationship. Every time I see Coach, it's like he's the nicest person on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
You can't say a bad thing about Coach.
No, I completely agree.
I see all this stuff on social media the last couple of days. Well, just since last night and today as well, kind of dancing on his career grave. And I think it's pretty disgusting, honestly, because
is that not necessary? Like, and he's a real person. He's got a family.
Now,
look, nobody likes to. Why would anyone be celebrating someone losing their job?
Yeah, I think a lot of it's driven by maybe other people in this area. That's why you see a lot of this on social media, and I think it's pretty disgusting because Coach is like the nicest person out there. But I texted Coach already. We talked a little bit, and I just feel really bad because I'm fairly new in the radio game, right? I like the host.
You've been working in radio 10 plus years, right?
Yeah, I've been in radio for 10 plus years, almost. But this is my first job with a microphone and your name's attached to the show.
Oh, yeah, we have to tell you something.
Oh, by the way. But I've seen it in other areas of the country where you see a lot of budget cuts being made for shows, and you see a lot of day parts being taken away because of corporate people that never listen to a single second of the shows, never know the people. All they see is a number, and that's
someone makes this, we need to save money.
And frankly, it's kind of like a big reason why me and you have gone to YouTube, honestly. Like the fact that we have our own entity, going forward, I think is the way that a lot of this stuff is going. But back to Coach.
Yeah, we're not trying to leave the radio, by the way.
No, we're not. I'm just saying we're doubling up our forces with radio.
If you want to keep us on the radio, please listen to us, by the way. And listen on the iHeart Radio app.
That too. But yeah, I feel horrible. The timing of it is ridiculous. But that's their decision to make. And, I've heard some things, but at the same time, I just feel bad for Coach because he's such a good person. And he put a lot of pride into that show. Whatever you want to say about that show, doesn't matter. He put a lot of work into that show, and he felt a lot of pride with it. So I reached out to Coach, wished him happy holidays, tell him, talked a little bit, our thoughts on this whole thing. But it's tough to see somebody that's been in the game for so long. Like when I got here, one of my first memories is listening to Coach at nighttime. Like it's I was searching for a radio station to listen to a sports talk show.
And that's what you were finding.
And that's what I found because that was just my drive home every day from work. So it's just one of the first things I saw. And so it's difficult for him. And I'm with you too. Our condolences to Coach. It's not like he lost his job. And so
it's happened to a lot of it. The longer, if you worked in any industry for a long period of time, it happens to a lot of people. People lose jobs. We know that. And in the radio business, happens.
I've seen it. It's, it doesn't matter when it happens. It was the timing of it that upset me. But, just moving forward, I don't like it.
I don't like. I don't like it. Listen, we don't control social media. We don't control how people react to it. But I don't think it's overly fair when someone loses their job to make it about anything other than that. But that's for another day. All right, Yamamoto. This completes a week-long stretch where they go Ohtani, Glasnow, Yamamoto, 1.2 billion. Is it just? Can we say at this point? And I hate to do it. And I've watched a lot of baseball in my life, and I understand you can win off seasons and win winter meetings and win trade deadlines and not win anything. And I am not saying the Dodgers are going to win lots of World Series or they're going to win one World Series with Shohei Ohtani. But even for me, it's hard to see how the Dodgers aren't winning the NL West. When I look at things today, I know.
Shocking proclamation there, John.
I hate to say it on December 22nd. That's not very fun. That's not very sport. You like to see it play out, but then again, we've watched it the last decade. They've won every division but one, right? And the Giants won 107 games when they didn't win a division. So I guess it's just a formality, right? It's like find your way into the postseason, forget about the division, and then beat them in a 5-game series like the Padres did 2 years ago and the Diamondbacks did last year, right? I mean, isn't it just I mean, they're just throwing money around that nobody's ever thrown around in the history of the game. They've given out more in contracts than all the other teams this offseason combined. So it's just a formality that the only way to get him is to get him in the postseason, I guess. As stupid as that sounds on December 22nd, that's what it feels like to me.
I listened to Dylan Hernandez on the way in, and hearing about how what Otani did with his contract. Essentially, this is free money, the Yamamoto deal. Free money. This is not going to cost them anything because of all the money they're making on the Otani deal. I don't care what anybody says. You can't tell me that the Dodgers didn't have a hand in creating this deal. Like, I'm sorry. I don't think that all of a sudden Shohei Otani with his agent brought this elaborate deal to the Dodgers and they're like, "Oh, that's awesome. That makes sense." I think
Perfect.
this to me was a complete collaboration with them and the Dodgers. It was a collision course where even if Otani did bring this deal back to the Angels or to the Giants, bro, he was never going to sign there anyway. Because guess what? Those two teams could have never done what the Dodgers are doing, which is deferring, making a lot of money on the Otani deal and giving them the opportunity to spend free money on guys like Tyler Glasnow and Yamamoto and whoever else they want to bring in there. Because if you think they're done, I got something else to tell you there. They're not. Like the Dodgers now are a machine to where this is a movie reference, John. They feel like the Empire. Like they really do. They feel like they're the Empire, the evil Empire, where they can do no wrong. They have a stranglehold on all of baseball. And I'm not going to say that it's going to ruin the sport. You're on that path. Like you have gone down a path now. You are baseball is staring down a path where you have the Dodgers, and then maybe below that by a significant margin, the Yankees and Mets, and then 50 feet, and then everybody else.
The comical part to me about it is you get this story. Yamamoto, $400 million to the Dodgers. No, it's just 325. But yeah, there's 50 million plus. So the comical part about it is the same day that baseball says they're going to change the pitch clock from 20 seconds to 18 seconds of runners on. And like that has any impact on the way someone feels about the game of baseball. What baseball has gotten wrong here is that perception becomes reality, and the perception is this: the rules are different for the Dodgers than they are for the other 29 teams. Why do I say that? Look at the Otani deal. Everyone feels the same way, including baseball executives. I've read the article. People wanted that deal nullified. $680 million out of $700. I said it day one. If it was a fair and square deal and it gave him $700 million, 70 a year CBT hit, I'm fine with it. He would have gone somewhere. I'd understand it. The second they allowed 97% money to throw to Otani, which opened up Glasnow, which opened up Yamamoto, they've opened up this absurd Pandora's box that they're not going to get out from underneath, and you can shoot your pitch clock from 20 seconds to 18 seconds. That's not fixing the sport. It's just not. So, I know Dodger fans are going to go crazy about it. Any team could have done this. We have more resources. Our TV deal is better. The Otani deal has unlocked a huge issue with Major League Baseball, and I have no clue how to do it. No clue. And that's just the truth. And that's how people feel. There aren't Dodgers fans. The other 29 teams.
Yeah, there's no competing for the A's, the Orioles, the Royals, the Marlins, uh, the Rockies, the Diamondbacks. We could go on and on. And basically, I would name every single team
Right.
in baseball,
Yeah.
other than maybe a few. And honestly, those other few now still can't compete with the Dodgers. You think the Giants have a bunch of money? They're not even close money wise to compete with the Dodgers. The Yankees, yeah, they have the GS network, but I mean, they're not competing. They're not spending like $1 billion in the off season. The Dodgers spent $1 billion in the off season. And guess what? That money that they spent this off season, they're going to make money on it. Think about that.
Yeah, I mean, that I'm not even worried about
Any
that.
other team, especially the Padres. is all we got when the Padres spent all this money the last couple of years is how is it sustainable? How can they do this? How can they do this? It's because the whole sport is totally different for each team. Each team has their own TV deal. Each team has their own revenue stream. And because of those TV deals and revenue streams determines how much a baseball team can maybe spend without feeling like they're up against it. Like the Padres spent a bunch of money, but I guarantee you when they did it, there's a lot of people in that organization thinking, "Oh, how are we going to do this?"
Where you have two teams in the same division separated by 100 miles. One has an 8.73 billion TV deal, and the other makes money off TV. As we sit here right now, yeah, you got a team that's got 8 billion in guaranteed revenue into the future, and a team that's going to try to scratch off for a few million in TV revenue, maybe in 2024.
It's when the powerhouse teams in the sport that have the most money all of a sudden become even more of a powerhouse. They stranglehold deals. The reason why the Padres spending a bunch of money was good for baseball, because I think people are like, well, the Padres spent a bunch of money. Well, you guys are you weren't bitching about that, because you need the floor to be elevated from everybody else. When you have that top end continue to rise while everybody below them continues to fall, that's not good for the sport. When you have the bottom teams, I'm not calling the Padres a bottom team, but just for an analogy, the Padres, right? When they start spending and they start raising that floor and making sure that everybody else in baseball is like, oh, small market team can spend money. That means we need to spend money, or at least we're going to get the pressure to spend money now because the Padres did it. When the Dodgers spend a bunch of money, there's no pressure on any of the smaller teams to spend any money at all because the Dodgers are in a class by themselves.
Yeah, it's all accurate. I mean, it's a problem. Like I think about the NBA, what they tried to do, it hasn't fully worked. Stars go to large teams by and large, but Giannis stayed in Milwaukee, and there's reasons and incentives for stars to stay. They don't always do it. There's endorsement opportunities in New York and LA, but there are reasons and incentives to stay. For Giannis to stay in Milwaukee, for Ja to stay in Memphis. There's no reason in hell for anyone in baseball to stay anywhere other than to get top dollar in two cities, New York and Los Angeles. And that's just the truth. Now, the sport's always been like that. NFL's got a salary cap. Players don't want a salary cap in baseball. Understood. All I'm saying is this. If there are going to be rules, even if they're unfair, let's at least play by them. How can you dish out deals like the Ohtani deal, yet free up capital in the process? How can you be paying them $2 million a year, take a less cap hit than the $700 million you can make over those 10 years? They're not paying $70 million in that cap hit per year, and that's opened up the trade for Glass now. That's opened up this $325 million for Yamamoto. I'm just saying, even if the rules are unfair, let's at least play by them.
And if you're just looking from a baseball standpoint here, spend $1 billion on a DH. The guy that's never thrown a pitch. Think about
Yeah, but I know, but they have the resources to, by the way, get one of these moves wrong and still double down.
Well, I know. I'm just saying, if you look at it from a baseball standpoint, is Yamamoto going to be a Cy Young Award winner? Maybe, but is there also a really good chance that he could be just like an average pitcher? Like, yeah, there is.
I don't know. I mean, how would anyone know? I think there's risk, but I think there's risk in any. I think the Garrett Cole deal had risk. I think this deal, you could argue, has more risk, but this guy's 24, is he not?
He hasn't pitched a pitch in the big leagues, John.
But that doesn't mean he's not going to be successful. Shohei Ohtani had never played in the big leagues. You know what I mean? There's no guarantees with any deal.
$325 million is
but they can
crazy.
afford to do it.
I know.
I'm with you. Let's just go down that path. Okay, Ohtani's a DH and Yamamoto's an average pitcher. Well, okay, they also have Betts and Freeman and Buehler and May and their system and more revenue and more resources. And they've given out 5 $300 million deals with the Freeman, Betts, these three, right? Well, not Glass now, but I'm saying that they don't even have to be perfect, where the Padres have to hit perfectly on these moves. Otherwise, they got to get out from underneath them, and they got to sell off Juan Soto's a 25-year-old.
Guess what? That's the sport of baseball, and baseball is completely fine with it to let the Dodgers do whatever they want. Okay, to have no repercussions and nobody bearing down their throats about how it's not good for baseball, and you guys are other owners in the league getting upset about it. Like, no, it's a situation where the Dodgers are in a class of their own, and everybody else is sitting over in the corner watching them do whatever they want.
And I'll say this, Jim. I hope you're right and I'm wrong, but a 24-year-old that had a 1.21 in 164 innings in the Nippon Professional Baseball League with a .8 whip, I hope he's average in the big leagues. I really hope. I hope you're right, but there's a chance he's really good because he's 24 years of age and he's the best pitcher in Japan. And he's coming over. He's got to stay healthy.
Look, it's going to be fine because when the Dodgers make the postseason after winning 133 games next year, they're going to lose to the 84-win Marlins, okay?
Exactly.
It's going to be fine.
And Yamamoto's going to get shelled in the postseason, which is something that's happened in his Japanese career.
Yeah.
In the Nippon Professional Baseball
the
League.
perfect Dodger, by the way.
On the other side, the Padres have countered this move. What do they do today? Plus, Colin Cowherd right here on San Diego Sports 760, Dodger apologist next. All right. Hey, guys, it is Schaefer. I've been telling you about my friends at Novo Brazil Brewing and all the work they've been doing recently here with the Mesa Foundation in support of San Diego State Aztecs men's and women's basketball. I've been down at the brewery a couple of times recently, last month with Lamont Butler and Jamie D and Mike Parrish. And those players are tasting different Nova Kombucha flavors for new co-branded products. It's going to be launched later this winter. Novo Brazil Brewing has 4 fantastic locations. They're about to open a 5th spot in Mission Valley. They've got one in Otay Ranch. I was just down there for, I think it was their 4th year anniversary. It's a spectacular place, massive LED screens, great food and drinks. Can't wait for this Mission Valley location to open up. It's right by where we work. Novo Brazil Mission Valley is going to be a 350-seat restaurant, full bar menu, 60 taps of Novo Brazil beer. They've got Nova Kombucha, I'm always talking about. They've got seltzers. They've got great food offerings. When I was down at that Otay Ranch location, we had great food down there, whether it's sandwiches, tacos, burgers, empanadas, appetizers, Brazilian-inspired entrees. So check it out. There are 4 area locations, about to open up a 5th one here in Mission Valley. For more information, visit novobrew.com. That's novobrew.com.
All right, this update's brought to you by Staples Stores. Aztecs last night beat Stanford 72-60. They're now 10-2 on the year. Sorry, 74-60. Nice to see you, John. They moved to 10-2 on the year. Aztecs next
What'd
up.
you say?
72. Don't worry
That's
about it.
wrong.
Yeah, I know. I fixed it, buddy.
Yeah.
Gonzaga, there's next opponent on the 29th at 6 p.m. on the road. Dodgers, they signed Yoshinobu Yamamoto to a 12-year, $325 million deal. And the Padres brought back Luis Patino to counter that move today off of waivers. Staples Print Big Sale means the more you print, the more you save. Get $20 off your print purchase of 100 or more. $50 off your purchase of 200 or more, and 100 off your print purchase of 300 or more. Ends 2/10/24. See staples.com/print for details. Print more, save at Staples.
All right, this hour, your chance to win Holiday Bowl tickets. That is Wednesday night, Petco Park, SC, and Louisville will be listing. We'll give those away at some point in the next 20 minutes or so. So, yes, the Dodgers have added Shohei Ohtani. Yes, they've added Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Yes, they've added Tyler Glass now. But the Padres today have added a hard-throwing right-handed pitcher that they once traded away in the Blake Snell deal. Luis Patino is back. The good news is, at one point, he was thought of as one of the better young pitching prospects in the game. The bad news is he has not lived up to it. He's got a negative career WAR. I think his career ERA is still maybe over 5. Ruben Niebla, though, the whisperer, did not work with Patino previously. He's coming back to the organization. Lightning in a bottle. Like, can they rectify this guy? He's only 24 years of age.
They essentially got Blake Snell for 3 years for free, it seems like. When you look at
Blake Snell for 3 years for free. Correct. Yeah.
3 years for free.
Pretty good deal.
The second that Luis Patino was put on waivers, I think every Padres fan was of course. Yeah, it kind of makes sense from the standpoint of probably brought him in, traded him away, not bring him back. Do we put? I mean, can Niebla fix everybody? I mean,
I don't know. That's a great question.
Like, I think that he's done a fantastic job while he's been here.
I agree.
But is there going to be too much pressure? Not pressure, but too much like on Niebla's plate and too many players to fix to bring to another level?
Yeah, can you fix it all? Like, that's a really good question. It's one thing to do it like in bits and pieces, one player, two player, but to do it with a lot of guys at the same time.
Like, hey, you need to fix this guy. You need to elevate this guy. You need to elevate this guy. Here's another reclamation project. Like, is it too much? I don't know. I don't know. It's a question that I have. Like, what if all of a sudden some of these pitchers don't live up, or they don't perform, or they don't get elevated? Like, are we then going to blame Ruben Niebla? I mean, I don't know. But again, I think Ruben Niebla is fantastic. I think what he has done here in his time as the Padres hitting coach, you see definite improvement with a lot of players. But I'm just wondering, like the guy that he helped last year, or not last year, but 2 years ago when they brought him over, Josh Hader, who was really struggling. I mean, Josh Hader before he got here was already like the best closer in the game.
Yeah, exactly. It was more of a blip.
Yeah. Like Blake Snell has already won a Cy Young before he got here.
He already had success.
Michael Wacha has already had success. I mean, like give me a guy that has come in here. And I'm not trying to, this is not a slight on Niebla at all. Like, I'm just asking the question of, is this too many potential reclamation projects or guys that are average that need to be elevated for this team to be really good next year, or at least compete for a playoff spot?
Well, let me ask you this. What the hell happened to Luis Patino? You think Tampa, you think they're going to get the, you're getting someone that you sought out. You're trading away Blake Snell. Luis Patino is the prize of the deal. He never works there. I mean, it's one thing to listen, his career numbers, okay, they're not good. Okay, he's got a 5.02 career ERA, but it's still only 45 appearances in his career. Where I get worried, his career whip, walks and hits over innings. Now, Blake Snell's one of these guys that's been high, even though he's been good because he walks a lot of guys. Luis Patino's career walks and hits over innings is 1.5. 1.5 base runners per inning in the big leagues is a recipe for a disaster unless you're Blake Snell. So can Niebla figure that out? Are they going to embrace that? Like Snell embraced it a year ago and lean into that. But he's only 24. Again, it's only 45 career big league appearances. So I think there's reasons to believe you shouldn't be giving up on a 24-year-old. And I think AJ Preller sees it, and I think he's going to rely on Niebla to kind of unlock Patino potentially. That's how I look at it. I think it's possible, but to your point, I don't know. You're putting too much faith in Niebla.
Like, hey, this is the true definition. And I said it, like dumpster dive. This Luis Patino is a dumpster dive move. Would you agree with that?
I don't know because he's only 24.
He's put on waivers, John.
Yeah, no, okay. That's fair.
I mean, his numbers are
The
not
dumpster
good.
dive for me would be like the 30. Okay, who did they sign that was pitching the second half of 2021?
Vince
was starting?
Vince Velasquez.
That's dumpster diving. And whoever else, Jake Arrieta. I mean, that is praying.
This is to me
This is hoping.
a shiny diamond that they had and gave it away to somebody for another shiny diamond, for a better shining diamond, right? And then they're walking around the streets and they see this diamond like in the gutter that they gave away a couple of years ago. That's how I view this. And they're like, oh, that's a very scratched up diamond, chipped a little bit, doesn't look great, but we think we can get that diamond back to looking how we had it before we gave
more
it away.
diamond in the rough stuff. Like, okay, it's how you label it. I think you could say dumpster diving. I'm sure people would agree with you. I would say reclamation project, which I think is a little nicer than dumpster diving because he's 24 and because he hasn't even reached arbitration.
I mean, they gave up on Ryan Weathers. He didn't improve here.
They gave up on Ryan Weathers. Yes.
I mean, he's
correct.
First round draft pick by this team.
Yeah.
They didn't give up on Mackenzie Gore. That was a part of a big deal, obviously. But I'm just looking at this like this. Would I be shocked next year if you see Luis Patino starting in for the Padres? Absolutely not.
No, we're coming out of their bullpen.
And is this too much on Niebla's plate? Are we just in agreement that he can fix anybody?
No, he can't fix anybody. Okay. I mean, he can't fix anybody, but I do think he has a chance to help those that are capable of being helped. And I feel like Patino would be one of those candidates. Where, again, are you going to turn this guy into a guy that is, frontline starter in the next year? Maybe not. But are you going to turn him into someone that's serviceable in the big leagues? Maybe. There's a big difference between serviceable in the big leagues and frontline starter. And if it does work out, by the way, you've got someone now under control at a low cost. If it does work out back in your organization that's not even arbitration eligible. Am I holding my breath? Do I think he's Yoshinobu Yamamoto? Probably not.
But it shows you where the Padres are right now. Like the dynamics of what's happening this offseason. Yoshinobu Yamamoto goes to the Dodgers for $325 million. The Padres need a starter. They go on the waiver wires and they pick up Luis Patino. That is where the Padres are at. And I would bet you that they view Luis Patino as a major league piece for this.
You think so?
Either bullpen or rotation next year.
So you think in spring training he's got a chance to earn a job?
Correct.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Correct.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's where they're at.
Well, on the other side, the hot stove is heating up for Blake Snell. What's the latest there? Are the Padres still in the mix or not? Plus, coming up next, we're giving away 2 free tickets to the Holiday Bowl next Wednesday at Petco Park. Stay with us on Jon and Jim. All right, we'll give away Holiday Bowl tickets on the other side, plus the latest on the free agent market for Blake Snell. Next. All right, by the way, programming announcement. We have a holiday gift for Brent that we will share with him coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. It is in this. Look at this is such like a
It's a big present.
this bag, I think, comes from like a Jones party, maybe. Like it's got like little clip art of like basketballs and footballs and baseballs on it and golf balls.
It's cute.
We do work at a sports station, guys. So
True.
Yeah.
So it kind of looks like that.
It's cute.
and it's not like it's got rubber duckies and stuff on it.
Right. Exactly. So we'll share this with Brent coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Happy holidays to our listeners.
What
Lord.
is happening?
I don't know. We're off until the 27th after today. We've got the Holiday Bowl for you on the 27th, which is Wednesday. But we do have Jon and Jim on Wednesday and then Thursday and Friday. Now, Jim's going to be in New Jersey and he's going to be in New York City and he's going to be like Elf, probably.
Like, oh,
movie reference.
Look at what is this? Is that the only movie you've ever
Are you
seen?
going to go around the what are those things like in the Macy's store?
Oh, the turnstiles?
Like, yeah, like there's turnstiles
doors,
going
yeah.
into the. Have you ever been in like a store, like a department store or anything? You're going to be amazed by how many people are there. There's way more people there than like in Mission Valley.
What kind of question is that?
I don't know. I feel
Have
like
you ever
haven't-
been to a store?
I feel like you haven't done much. Your furthest east was like San Diego until like a month ago.
No, I've been to Miami. I've been to Orlando. Excuse me.
That's east. Yeah, that's east.
I've been to Chicago.
That's east.
I've been to Philadelphia and New Jersey.
Very east.
Very east. I've been to Dallas.
Not as east, but middle.
No. I've been to Houston. So I've been places. You're just like
I know. I don't know. For some reason, I feel like you haven't done anything.
Jim, have you ever like been to a store before?
I don't know. Anyway, okay, we're going to give away Holiday Bowl tickets in a moment. First, I want to go to the phones. We've got an update for you on Blake Snell's free agency as well. But let's go to the phones. It's not 844-570-1360.
What are you doing?
Although it still works.
It's 877-767-4760.
That's right. Or 844-570-1360. To be honest, Paul, you're on with John and Jim.
Yeah, thank you guys for taking the call. Happy
Sure.
holidays, everybody. Word on the street, Blake Snell will be an Anaheim Angel. I don't know if that's going to pursue it, but I think that Angels are definitely, he's their target.
Yep.
But I had a question for you guys as a Padre fan, and I'm all of a sudden going, what the heck is going on? Is the decline of Bally's, are the Padres basically going to look for a new TV deal? And in the meantime, are they going to have a fire sale?
Well, it's a huge Paul thing. It's a huge problem.
Is this Ken Rosenthal?
No, I mean it's a huge problem. Not to the point of fire sale, but it's a huge problem. Dodgers have $8 billion. Padres TBA, right? I mean, literally TBA in their next TV deal.
Yeah. The Dodgers have unlimited money. The Ohtani deal is making them, as Dylan Hernandez said today, probably $1 billion.
The Ohtani deal is making them $1 billion. Yeah, I see it. I can see it.
So there's no money lost here.
Right.
It is an interesting situation that the best player in the sport, or one of the best players, I think as just a DH, he should not be considered the best player in the sport, in my opinion. If he was pitching like he has been the last 2 years, then he is the best player in the sport. But if he is just a DH, he's not the best player in the sport.
But when you say,
I'm sorry.
But if it's just short-term DH, if it was one season as DH, because there's no way the plan here is for him to DH the rest of his career.
If it's just one season and he returns to his form pitching-wise, like if he becomes that really good pitcher that he was the last 2 years, where he's starting an all-star game as a pitcher, he's closing out the WBC for Team Japan, right? Throwing 100 right by Mike Trout. If he goes back to that pitcher and he still remains obviously the same hitter that he is, then yeah, he's the best player in the sport by a good margin. But if he does not return to that type of pitcher and he's just a DH, a guy that's only had 100 RBIs in one season,
listen to you.
To me, not close to the best player in the sport.
Well, this is my opinion, but I'd be shocked if I'm off here. There's no way they don't envision using him as a pitcher throughout a majority of this deal. Now, I don't know how long he's going to hold up, and I don't know if he'll be successful as he was. He's never thrown more than 166 innings because he hits. And that was only 1 year. The other 2 years, full-time pitching, 130 innings, those 2 years. So if I'm the Dodgers, I'm looking at, can I get 100 innings out of this guy for his prime outside of 2024? And oh, by the way, I would not put it outside the realm of possibility of Shohei Ohtani pitching at some point in 2024. Here's the update on Blake Snell, by the way. According to Susan Slusser of the San Francisco Chronicle, the Angels' top priority is Blake Snell now that they've lost Shohei Ohtani, and also the Giants are interested in Snell. Giants and Angels, two serious suitors for Blake Snell. Blake Snell, now that Yamamoto's off the board. Makes sense. We've heard about the Giants. Angels make sense. Losing out on Ohtani, backfilling, coming off a Cy Young year. Will there be a bidding war? What's he going to get? I don't know. But we just saw 325 for a 25-year-old. Can Snell get half that? Half that's 160 plus if he gets half of 325.
Yeah, and you might be now looking at whatever Blake Snell makes here in his deal compared to the Yamamoto deal and might say to yourself, that's a steal. Because Yamamoto for 325 without throwing one pitch in the big leagues, and you just won your second Cy Young, and you're going to get potentially like 160 million. I've already said, I've been on record, I would not sign Blake Snell to that much money just because he's too inconsistent and he's only had 2 good seasons his entire career. But it looks much more justifiable now with the Yamamoto deal on the board I mean, if you sign Blake Snell, who's a 2-time Cy Young Award winner, who's actually, I don't know, pitched in the big leagues, and you sign him to $160 million compared to a guy that hasn't thrown one pitch in the big leagues for $325, if I'm that team or if I'm those fans, like I'm saying to myself, that to me is perceived as a good deal.
Maybe a good deal. I agree. Now, Snell's 31.
Correct.
Yamamoto's 25. And the truth is the MPB has been a good comp for Major League Baseball. There's a lot of examples of guys having success in the MPB that have success in the major leagues. That's the truth. All right. Call right now if you want 2 free tickets to the Holiday Bowl. Caller 7, they're yours. 877-767-4760. Again, 877-767-4760. Caller 7, those are yours. And again, we've got 2 free tickets to the Holiday Bowl. This is SC Louisville next Wednesday night, 5 p.m. Here, San Diego Sports 760, Petco Park, downtown San Diego. An amazing holiday gift. 877-767-4760. Caller 7, those are yours. Hour 2, Jon and Jim next. Guys, oh, I know. I watched that entire thing. Guys, appreciate you hanging out. Anyone that's here, first of all, happy holidays to everyone. For me and Jim. More so me than Jim. I'm just kidding. Okay, we get to super chats during our break. So if you want to support the channel, you can click the $ below the chat box, like our buddy JD Gaucho did right here, and also subscribe if you are here. And happy holidays to you and yours. JD Gaucho, thank you. Says John, guess what league San Diego State men's soccer is in for 2024? I have no idea. It's a good question. We saw what happened with Oregon State and Washington State putting their sports primarily in the WCC, other than football with that scheduling alliance and baseball. I don't know. I don't know enough about it, JD Gaucho, if I'm being honest. It's definitely topical. I think San Diego State has to figure it out with women's lacrosse and men's soccer in terms of what league they're going to be in. So stay tuned, as Jim likes to say. I'm sure Jim has some. You want to follow up on what league you think San Diego State men's soccer will be in 2024? I know this is kind of your specialty.
I got nothing. I literally have nothing.
Jim thinks they'll be in the QL7 league. I mean, Jim doesn't know. I don't even know what the options are, to be honest with you guys. There's a new league form out of it for men's soccer. I don't even know what the options are. Appreciate you guys. We'll be back momentarily. Thank you, Super JD Gaucho, and we'll be back.
All right, this update's brought to you by Staples Stores. We'll start with the Aztecs. They beat Stanford last night, 74-70. They're now 10-2 on the year. Next up, the big one versus Gonzaga on the 29th, 6 p.m. tip-off there on the road. Dodgers, they signed what's his name? I don't even, Yamamoto, Yoshinobu,
Just call him
whatever. He's a
Yoshi.
Dodger.
His name is, and now you're confusing me.
I'm
I think it's
confused.
Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
Yoshinobu. I just call him Yamamoto. Who cares? He's a Dodger. Who cares?
Just say that.
Who cares? The Dodgers signed some pitcher that has never thrown
He's
a pitch in the big leagues.
rando.
Yeah. He's never thrown a pitch in big leagues, and they gave him $325 million.
Exactly. And he's never thrown a pitch in the big leagues.
More importantly, the Padres, they brought back Luis Patino off of waivers today. Staples print big sale means the more you print, the more you save. Get $20 off your print purchase of 100 or more, 50 off your print purchase of 200 or more, and 100 off your print purchase of 300 or more. Ends 2/10/24. See staples.com/print for details. Print more, save more at Staples.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 2 of Jon and Jim. If you missed our 12 days of Jon and Jim Christmas a year ago, essentially, we have not updated it. Okay, we didn't take any initiative to change it. We will play back our 2022 12 Days of Christmas in the 5 o'clock hour.
Well, it's a very evergreen thing because I listened to it because I wanted to see.
It's evergreen.
Like we should change
But
stuff.
would you update any if you had a chance? Like if you could.
No.
Okay. So it stands the test of time.
Maybe one, but at the same time, no, everything stands the test of time.
I like it.
And I feel like this is a staple song of this show that will never have to change.
I like that.
Like,
I really do.
I literally don't see any part of the song that needs updating at all. So if you missed it last year, guess what?
We're gonna have it for you. Okay.
It's gonna be like a tradition.
Here's my one thing. Can I just listen? I hope Yamamoto isn't the pitcher that he's been hyped up to be. I hope he's not the $400 million pitcher, obviously.
Yeah.
Because, everyone on paper, the Dodgers have won the World Series, but it's not played on paper, as we understand. Where I push back on this, like he hasn't pitched in the big leagues. Well, okay. But like I'm looking up guys that have gone from the MPB to the major leagues that were highly sought after. And there are tons of success stories. It's not just like one success story. You know what I mean? Like he would follow a line. Now he's got to stay healthy and things can happen. I'm not saying this guy's going to win Cy Youngs. I have absolutely no idea. But like there's a lot of guys that have made this transition that have been successful, whether it's Ohtani, Darvish, Tanaka. I'm just looking at lists of guys.
Who was the pitcher last year for the Mets that we were talking about?
Yeah.
He only signed like a $75 million deal. I'm blanking on the name.
Right. I remember too. How did he pitch last year?
Kodai Senga.
Okay.
I think he was he led, I think, all rookies in ERA.
Like in terms of good ERA or bad ERA? Like high or low?
Like good ERA.
Yeah, Senga last year to 2.98. That's kind of my point. Like these guys have worked out as they've come up.
And Kodai Senga's deal was for like $75 million.
Oh yeah, you could argue. I'm sure it's an overpay. No other team's paying $325.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean he's not going to be good.
Well, you know where the whole thing is like, this is stupid.
Right.
The $325 means nothing to the Dodgers. Absolutely nothing. Because that's free money. It's free money they're getting because of Ohtani. Every other team in baseball, that would have not hurt, but they would have felt it, right? Like, oh, we just gave a guy a $325 million contract for 12 years. That's going to eventually catch up potentially. Dodgers, it means nothing. It's free money. It's like, hey, it's like, you return something to the store and you have extra money to get.
Because they got all that tax relief, so to speak, on the Ohtani deal?
Because of the Ohtani deal.
Yeah.
And that's why the sport is going down a path of major problems in the future. And the Dodgers are essentially just the biggest spender by a country mile. And they can do it and be okay. When another team tries to do it, like the Padres, they're not okay.
Well, what's interesting is, and we know the correlation doesn't always work out. Mets, Yankees, Padres, top 3 spenders last year, all missed the postseason, which is incredible. The truth is the Dodgers last year were under the CBT, not over it, which allowed them then to put themselves potentially in this position with less of a tax burden. Here's the other truth. The Mets outspent everyone in baseball by, and I could look it up, I think $100 million.
Mm-hmm.
And what did they buy?
A lot.
Nothing.
Oh, what they get? Nothing.
They got nothing, and they spent $100 million more than any other team.
Same with the Padres.
But it's not. So my point is, I guess my point is this: it's not only the Dodgers that have tried this game. Now, I think the Dodgers are getting advantages that the Padres and Mets didn't get because there wasn't deferred money last year in the Mets spending. There wasn't deferred money last year in the Xander Bogaerts deal or the Machado extension. And maybe you say, well, that's on the Mets. That's on the Padres. That's their fault. But allowing a team to defer 98% of the money in a $700 million deal doesn't make any sense. And I think we can all agree on that. You might be wearing a Dodgers hat right now, watching us on YouTube or listening on the radio. You even agree with that if the Padres would have done the same thing, there would have been outcry.
Yep.
Complete outcry. It's a double standard.
Yep. 100% double standard.
And we can all agree on that.
And the Dodgers, I'm not discrediting them. They are one of the smartest, most well-run organizations in all of baseball. They, didn't cut any corners to get to where they're at money-wise, financially-wise, right? I mean, look, their owner, their TV deal.
They have a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. $8 billion TV deal. They're in LA, the second largest market in the country. They're perennial winners. They win 100+ games every single year, right? They do have world championships, even though one of them's fake. Like, they're a very well-run organization. But with everything that's happening now with the Ohtani deal, it's like Thanos times 100. Like it's at a level where like, okay, this is legitimately not fair. Like,
who is it? Thanos? Let me Wikipedia him.
I swear to God.
Thanos, a mutant member. He's a supervillain appearing in American comic books published by Marvel. And
he's wearing 2 Infinity Gauntlets.
He looks like this, have you ever seen this guy? He's like this big gray and yellow guy. Anyway, they're Thanos times 100. Does that mean Thanos has a lot of spending power? Or what? He's like better than all the other Marvel characters combined?
No, it's like an unstoppable force that you can't beat.
But they can be beat. That's the fun. I mean, we're talking about it now.
The only way that Thanos could have been beat, and by the way, he did get beat, was they had to have an elaborate plan to go back in time, or at least go to different parts of time to gain all of the Infinity Stones, and then even they almost lost to Thanos.
So redo the Machado deals.
Well, and if Star-Lord wasn't an idiot.
And Star-Lord messed it all up.
So what are you saying? Put deferred money in Machado's deal? I don't, is that what, no, but I have serious questions about that. But here's the point. To your point, this Thanos character got beat. Dodgers are beatable. It's played out. It's not the first time they've spent money.
It's gonna be that much
amazing.
sweeter.
I know, but if they win, that's where it's gonna be like. I mean,
do you agree that in the next at least 5 years,
okay,
they have to win? I mean, the Dodgers. If I'm looking at
5 years, they got to win a World Series next 2.
I'm just saying, like, they have to win at least 2 World Series in the next 5 years.
Yeah.
They have. I mean, they have to. And it's gonna be somewhat. And every year they don't win the World Series, it's. Well, time to get our bookmarks.
Well, it's like the 72 Dolphins. Like when someone loses in the NFL, let's celebrate.
Yeah,
that's what it's going to be.
And I was thinking, is this like when the Warriors got KD? Because
I was hard to make the comp.
Because I was a fan of the Warriors, so I was on the other side. But I'm just thinking,
it's honestly different because in basketball, we all know once the Warriors get KD, you're like, whoa,
championship.
That's tough. If they stay healthy, baseball doesn't work like that.
But they didn't cut corners around the system and use it to their advantage.
And because you really don't, I guess, in the NBA. You really can't in the NFL. I mean, there's ways to work around it. But baseball is set up just differently. The fact that the Dodgers and the A's play the same sport at the same level is kind of comical.
And other teams in baseball, the teams that are the lower end of their payroll, you have to be also upset at them for also not spending money.
You have to be upset at the teams in the bottom half for not spending, you're saying?
Yeah, because they have it.
I know, but even if the bottom half spent, you're right. But even if the bottom half spent, they're not spending on these players.
No, I know.
Because this is a different block of the neighborhood.
And those players would not even want to go.
They don't want to
go to Oakland. Nobody.
Right.
No one's
you're
going.
100% right.
Las Vegas.
Oakland doesn't even want to go to Oakland anymore.
But again, it's a bad system because, like in Milwaukee in the NBA, you can keep players. In Milwaukee in the NFL, Green Bay, you can keep players. But in Major League Baseball, nobody wants to go to Pittsburgh. Yet the Steelers are one of the proudest franchises in the history of the NFL. But
Yeah.
Pittsburgh's a small market in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, it's
Yet
weird.
the Steelers draw 30 million TV viewers, but they're good.
And the Giants are offering these players hundreds and hundreds of $1 millions. They offered Aaron Judge. They offered Ohtani. They offered Yamamoto, Bryce Harper.
That's crazy, actually.
And none of them have gone there. Why is that?
Buster Posey.
No, that's right. The city is like Gotham City times.
Like you can't even go in there anymore.
It's ridiculous. You just go in every corner and it's
Do you think
crime.
when the Dodgers play at San Francisco, they're just
every corner.
Are they just going to forfeit? Like we're not going.
Like we're not going
gonna
there.
Go
I'm
there.
not gonna
Did
be-
you hear what Buster had to say?
I'm not going to be seen in that disgusting city. Other teams that are lower half. That's why
they should spend more.
They need to spend, and that's why the Padres should have been viewed in a bright light, because they were a team that historically had never spent. And finally, Peter Seidler said, nah, I'm going to spend money. And that should have been viewed as a win, because you want all of these owners to spend, because guess what? They have the money. They are all billionaires, okay? All of these teams are valued over $1 billion. The amount of money that Major League Baseball brings in every year is insane.
Yeah, but that might be true, and maybe you can pull off a Kansas City double with Waka and Lugo. But Kansas City, even if they wanted to, and even if Yamamoto wanted to go there, they're not piecemealing together 325. There's at least 10 clubs in Major League Baseball history, it's more than this, that have never spent $100 million on a player. There's probably 15 clubs. So if they've never spent 100, they're going to spend 300. It's never going to happen. So the Rockies can spend more money. They did it on Chris Bryant.
Yeah.
Okay, they reached for 150 or $200 million. Does that mean they're going to spend 400 on a player? It's different stratosphere stuff that only 5 or 6 teams can pull off.
Yeah,
is what it is. I mean, it's Cubs, Red Sox, Yankees, Mets, Dodgers, Giants type living, with the Padres getting involved here and there over the course of the last 5 years.
And I saw something on social media, because Blake Snell is probably the next domino to potentially fall here as far as the big names go. And he's linked to the Giants now, because the Giants missed out on Yamamoto, and also the Angels as well. Because the Angels, I mean, they lost Ohtani and they need to get better.
Yep.
And the sentiment was, I don't want to see Blake Snell go to the Angels because the Angels suck. He needs to go to a good team. Well, then how are the bad teams supposed to be good if you want all of the good players not to go there?
It's a tough conversation. I mean, the funny thing about the Angels is they have been one of the spenders over the last 2 decades. It's just been mismanaged spending.
Ohtani, Trout.
There's been so much. They've spent so much money, and
it
hasn't resulted in anything.
I know.
You know? Okay, we want to get to the rapid 4:30? Can we do that? Can we get to the rapid 4:30? I want to hear from Colin Cowherd. Now, this is somewhat lengthy, but it's the Friday before Christmas, so we've got a few minutes.
I have checked out.
Jim's checked out, as he's told you, for 2 years, and the show started 2 years ago. This is Colin
Jim's brain
Cowherd.
is already on the Jersey Turnpike.
I've been checked out for 3 years.
Catch up with it.
Now, this doesn't surprise me. Colin does this show out of Los Angeles. You know, it doesn't surprise me the take he's taking on Yamamoto. I think the translation for me is, hey, it's good for baseball, and here's why. This doesn't surprise me. But listen to Colin Cowherd and this take on the Yamamoto deal.
Yoshinobu Yamamoto signed with the Dodgers. 12 years, 25-year-old star from Japan, $300 million plus. When I worked at ESPN, the other place, the Red Sox and Yankees controlled what they called the hot stove league. It was hot for two teams. It was celebrated. It was never a problem. Crystal for everyone. Now, suddenly, the Dodgers have the two top prizes. Bad for baseball. Nonsense. What's bad for baseball is the Rays in the World Series, or Ohtani going to Canada or staying in Anaheim. It's not bad for tennis that Serena dominated it like nobody else for 17 years. It got its biggest ratings. Or that Tiger dominated golf for 15. He left, so did the ratings. The Dodgers are now must-see TV, and the sport's never been even. How many World Series titles do the Rockies Mariners have? How many do the Yankees have? The Braves are always well run. Detroit never is in recent memory. The sport's not even. There's no salary cap. This is now Ocean's 11. Pitt and Andy Garcia and Bernie Mac and Julia Roberts and Matt Damon and Don Cheadle and Julia Roberts. It's one of my favorite movies. How unfair, though, it's got all the stars. Yes, all playing roles. There's no guarantee the Dodgers even win a single World Series. Baseball's quirky. The season lasts forever. Arm angles, pitchers, all of a sudden, Walker Buehler just disappeared this year. It happens. You're always on pins and needles at the end of a season and in spring training. Will the arm stay healthy? The Dodgers last year moved off some stars and won 100 games. Even with these two additive superstars, it's 104. That's their over-under. There's no guarantees this is going to win and dominate baseball. If you could get a couple World Series over 7-8 years, the Dodgers probably be pretty happy. It's a different sport. It's not quarterback-led or NBA superstar-led. It's a collaborative vehicle that needs the right manager, the right analytics. You got to have 3, 4, and 5 guys with some power and pop, but not be owned and burdened and literally only able to score with home runs like the Yankees. You need athletes, old and young, a bullpen and a setup guy. But this idea that it's bad for baseball is absolute nonsense. It was celebrated when the Yankees and Red Sox, because of the Yes Network and Nesson, were way ahead of the sport. They just bought whoever they wanted to. Listen, I know you can watch conservative news outlets and think nobody likes California, but our economy is number one by a mile. The Dodgers outdraw even the second best draw in baseball by 10,000 fans. And trust me, I've had a few beers there. Those are more expensive too. But it's worth it. Our weather's Mediterranean. It's a great organization. And they reward the fans and defer the payments. It's not bad for baseball. Tampa in the World Series is. Ohtani in Canada is. It's must-see television. It's MJ's Bulls potentially, but not assuredly. Because baseball's never worked that way. And it's why it's quirky and weird and fun and different. And the season's too long. And the games can be plodding and too slow. But this is great for baseball. A villain for everybody outside of Los Angeles County. Sports needs them. The Dodgers are feeding them. And I can't wait.
Okay, so 2 things. One, I'll agree with Colin on this. The Dodgers being the villain for everybody, I do like that aspect because the Dodgers were already the villain in the first place.
Now they're already the villain.
Now they're at a level of like despot. I think Ohtani, honestly, yes, Japan-wise, he's going to be beloved there. But I think overall, this is going to be like a little of a wake-up call for Ohtani because everywhere he goes, he's going to get booed mercifully now. It will not be a love fest like he was with the Angels.
Well, okay, what's your second point?
And 2, the Rays being in the World Series bad for baseball. Stop. That's good for baseball because that means that every team has a shot.
But let me ask you this. Why is it that when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are in the Super Bowl, it's celebrated? That's good for football when Tom Brady's in Tampa. But the Rays being in a World Series is not good for the sport. That's the problem alone with the sport. There's this idea that you don't even want, the concept is we don't even want parity. If we could just put the Dodgers and the Yankees in the World Series every single year, it would rate. It's the 2 biggest markets. Forget the other clubs. Why even try? Like that, if that's the perception, then you got a problem because there's no perception in the NFL that Green Bay can't win. There's no perception in the NBA that Milwaukee can't win.
Milwaukee's pretty damn good.
And the reality is they can win. But in baseball, the reality is Pittsburgh's not winning a World Series in the next 50 years.
Like the Detroit Pistons are the worst team in basketball by a mile.
Maybe history.
Right. But guess what? If they get the number 1 pick next year and they have, I don't know who would be the number 1 pick, but say that number 1 pick turns into be like an all-star player that can elevate the Pistons. And then the Pistons have the best shot of anybody in basketball to re-sign that player to a max deal. And then you see other players in free agency say, oh, I want to play with that guy. And then all of a sudden in 5 years, the Pistons are really good. Now, the Pistons don't draft well. They don't develop well. They don't do anything well. But my point is the Pistons have a path to become a really good basketball team. The only way in baseball now to have a path is be like the Rays. But the Rays are the only team that can do what they do, I feel like.
It's an interesting conversation. We can get back to it coming up on the other side. We're with you until 6 p.m. We do have more Holiday Bowl tickets to give away during Trainwreck Radio. Coming up later this hour, we will get to the wrap coming up next. You'll hear Jon and Jim's 12 Days of Christmas in the 5 o'clock hour. We'll give gifts to Brent in the 5 o'clock hour as well. Stay with us. So I'm at Viejas last night, San Diego State, Stanford, which we'll get into actually in a moment. And I see one of the owners over at Windmill Farms, our buddy Trevor. And I've been telling you for weeks and weeks and months about Windmill Farms, the college area's natural grocer. Huge Aztec fans. They've got you covered all year round, including this weekend. All your shopping and cooking needs, whatever you need to take care of, make sure to do it over at Windmill Farms. They've got their organic farm fresh produce and meats. They've got the beer selection, this huge craft beer, kombucha, whatever you need selection. And again, the deli is unbelievable. Your 8th sandwich is free with a sandwich card. Great ingredients, low prices, and a huge selection in their deli. And again, they've been in the grocery business in San Diego County at Windmill Farms, Trevor and his family, for 20 plus years. They're centrally located off Del Cerro Boulevard, right across the freeway from Montezuma Mesa. Family owned and operated for more than 2 decades, supporting local businesses like Harris Ranch, Mr. G Salsa, and more. And even if you don't live or work near the college area, they've got you covered because you can find Windmill Farms on Instacart and have your groceries delivered directly to your doorstep. So check them out this weekend. You're getting ready for Christmas and New Year's. Everything you need is available at Windmill Farms. You can see their weekly specials at windmillfarmsmarket.com and shop local this holiday season. Shop at Windmill Farms.
All right, this update is brought to you by Staples Stores. Aztecs beat Stanford last night 74-60 to improve to 10-2 on the year. Next up for the Aztecs, they take on Gonzaga on the road on December 29th, 6 p.m. tip-off there. Dodgers, they signed Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Did I say it right?
Not listening.
12 years, $325 million deal. The Padres, to counter that move, brought back Luis Patino today off of waivers. Staples Print Big Sale means the more you print, the more you save. Get $20 off your print purchase of $100 or more, $50 off your print purchase of $200 or more, and $100 off your print purchase of $300 or more. Ends 2/10/24. See staples.com/print for details. Print more, save more at Staples.
All right, we'll get to the wrap in a second. Fernando Tatis Jr. to Kevin Acee in the UT. Really long piece about his offseason in the Dominican. This is a quote from Tatis today from Kevin. I'm going to be way better. Way better. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but I'm just going to tell you for sure I'm getting ready for a long season. I'm putting the work in. I didn't realize this. It's in the article as well. His last 100 plate appearances last year, he hit 210. And he said, I was just on fumes. He played every single game. I think he missed one. But he hit 200. Essentially, his last 100 plate appearances, he said he was on fumes, and he's now planning for, what it takes to play a full season in the big leagues, which he has yet to, he hasn't played 160 games, but 130.
Tatis had a phenomenal year in the outfield, right? Deservedly so. Turned himself into, just eye test alone. Who cares about awards? He's one of the best, if not the best, right fielders in the game. His range, his arm, everything. He can do it all out there. And he is such a weapon in right field for the Padres. It was great to see. Offensively, it was very average for his standards, right? Under 30 home runs. His batting average was not great. His OPS was, I think, under 800. If I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right. Yeah.
It's 790 something. Around there. That's not a Tatis OPS type of year.
I wonder if it was even that high.
From what we've seen. Yeah, what was his OPS? Officially?
770. His career is 896.
Well, before that, his career was 940 or something.
Yeah, exactly.
So that brought it down a lot. But I said, look, I saw everything I wanted to see from Tatis last year. Number one, play a full season healthy and not go on the IL. At least not go on for a extended period of time. Check. Be the guy in the room that doesn't cause any problems. There's no issues. We're not talking about Tatis off the field, and he goes out, does his business. Team player. Check. No problems with Tatis because coming off of him being suspended, he kind of needed to have a very quiet year. If you get what I'm saying. The offense. I could let slide a little bit because coming off of not playing for a full year, dude, that's really hard. To expect him to all of a sudden be 2021 Tatis, 40 plus home runs, 100. That's difficult.
He was 17 months between major league games plus multiple surgeries, shoulder and wrist.
So difficult to do. So all of that being said, going into a second year, if all of a sudden he puts up these same numbers they did this past season this year, then we could start having the conversation of, is this going to be who Tatis is now?
Right. Is he ever going to get back to what he was?
But of what I'm expecting him to do this upcoming season and what it sounds like he's expecting himself to do is be that 2021 MVP level player. And if he's that for the Padres, I've said it, dude, that helps a lot of issues with this team.
So listen to this. His final 104 plate appearances, he had 213. His on-base percentage was 289. His slug was 383, which means his OPS was 672 for his final 104 plate appearances. And he acknowledged this per Kevin Acee in the UT, acknowledged in the season's final week he was exhausted. Which again makes sense. He played in 141 of the 142 games he was eligible after the suspension, after never appearing in a full season in the major leagues. He's still not even 25. He's turning 25 in January. He's entering his prime, but to our collective point, he's got to hit better than he hit last year. Yeah. It was understandable excusable even a year ago, considering the circumstances, it won't be as understandable next year.
No, it won't. If you see the same numbers that, you know, that he put up this past season next year, then we're going to have to start a discussion and conversation about it. That's why when we talk about the blame game or like looking at the reasons why this team last year was not good, like Tatis is in there offensively, but I can't put really much on him because
No, I think he did his part.
he did his
could have
part,
hit better,
man,
but
and coming back from not playing for 17 months, like you said.
And he was a team guy. Like he played. He was playing out there in right. They've moved his position. They'll move him in the batting order.
No complaining.
He wasn't complaining. I think by and large he said the right things after FanFest when we said we're going to win the World Series in either 4 or 5 games. But that was all coach speak. You know. By the way, in the Dominican Winter League 7 games, he's hit 304, homer, triple, double, 3 steals in those 7 games. He's been playing either right or center. Will not play shortstop, by the way.
Good. He's an outfielder now. He's not a shortstop.
Yeah, exactly. We will get to the wrap coming up. We keep pushing off the wrap. We'll get to it in the 5 o'clock hour because at 5 p.m. we're going to do both the wrap and we'll also hear Jon and Jim's 12 Days of Christmas. At 5:30, we will share some gifts with Brent this holiday season. And on the other side of this break, you're going to have a chance to play for Holiday Bowl tickets. You need to call right now if you want those tickets. First 2 callers will be our contestants for trivia. One of you will win 2 free tickets to the 2023 Holiday Bowl between SC and Louisville. The number to call is 877-767-4760. Again, 877-767-4760. First 2 callers will be our contestants for Trainwreck Radio. That is trivia. The winner today gets a pair of free tickets to next Wednesday's Holiday Bowl at Petco Park between SC and Louisville. Call right now if you want those free tickets. You got to play trivia. 877-767-4760. That's next. All right, caller 2 just dropped off. Who wants to play Victor in Sports Trivia, Trainwreck Radio, for a chance to win Holiday Bowl tickets? 2 free tickets to next Wednesday's Holiday Bowl. If you want a chance to win those tickets and play trivia, call 877-767-4760 right now. Again, our number, 877-767-4760. We're playing for free Holiday Bowl tickets, 877-767-4760. That's next. I like this. Yes. Right. A little Christmas in Hawaii. That sounds nice, doesn't it? I'm watching Hawaii. There's some tournament, basketball tournament on, not the one that's on right
It's
here.
the Mad Ants versus the Knicks.
No, there's a tournament going on right now.
By the
What's it
way,
called?
the Mad Ants, that team's got some hops, dude. I see all they're doing is just dunking on everybody. It's crazy.
That's great. What's the college basketball tournament called that's in Hawaii right now?
The college basketball Hawaii tournament.
There's something going on. Oh, the Diamond Head Classic. San Diego State's
yeah,
been
you
a
knew
number
that
of
one.
times.
Yeah, of
a number
course.
of times. There's something about Christmas in Hawaii. Just being in Hawaii. Or San Diego, for that matter, to be honest with you. All right, we'll get to the wrap coming up at 5 p.m. You'll hear Jon and Jim's 12 Days of Christmas. We've got some gifts for Brent as well. We still have a back page, I think, without Jim because he's going to the airport tonight. Right?
Yeah.
What time's your flight?
9 o'clock.
And you're leaving at 5:40.
Dude, don't even start with me. All right?
Yeah, something fishy's there. I caught you in one.
No,
so
didn't.
You're leaving at 5:40.
No, you didn't. You didn't catch me. I just have a very, very, very concerned fiance that we will not be able to get there on time. So I am doing what she wants in this situation.
So she's the one that wants to be there 3 hours ahead of time.
Are you going home?
It's also like I'm going home, so I have my stuff there. It's also like one of the busiest travel days so far this year because of where Christmas lands. People are done with work today, get on a flight, go back to wherever their home is.
Oh, I didn't realize that. People travel for the holidays? That's amazing.
Get to it, Brent.
All right.
right, three questions, two contestants, one lifeline. Today's two contestants, we have Victor and Larry. Victor, you called in first. You have your choice of John or Jim. Who do you want to go with?
All right, I'll take John.
Okay, so Victor and John.
That means Larry, you get me, okay?
All right, let's roll.
All right, let's roll, buddy. Brent, what's today's question of the day?
All right, the Ravens face the Niners this weekend. Today's question, can you name the top 10 passers by career yardage in Ravens history? So we're looking for the top 10 career yardage leaders in Ravens history, passing yardage.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. I think I got this.
Ravens history.
I think we got this.
Okay.
Larry, you are up first. What is your first guess? You do have a lifeline if you choose to use it.
Flacco.
Joe Flacco.
Number one.
Yes.
Number one. Victor, you're up next. What is your first guess? You do have a lifeline if you choose to use it.
How about Lamar Jackson?
Lamar Jackson.
Number two.
Yep.
All right, now it gets tricky.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Now it gets tricky. Larry, you're up next. What's your second guess? You do have your lifeline if you choose to use it.
Oh, lifeline.
Oh, man.
Oh, crap.
Oh, boy. I'm gonna give you Trent Dilfer, but I'm not quite sure on that one because he didn't play there long. But the list is not long also for the Ravens. So
I can't figure out who played for him.
I'm giving you Trent Dilfer. You can use it if you want, or you can choose something else.
I'll go with you.
Yeah.
Wow.
He didn't play long there. I didn't have anybody else in my mind.
He's
13th.
Oh, so it was close.
So he has like 10 passing yards.
Yeah. All right, Victor, you're up next. What's your second guess? You do have your lifeline still if you want to use it.
I remember Steve McNair played there.
Wow.
Who?
Steve McNair.
Man.
Oh, he
Yes,
did.
He sure did. He sure did.
Wow.
That was a great pull.
That is a great pull. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, Larry. Larry, final guess. This is all up to you to stay in the game. What do you got?
Who else played there? Who was the? I don't know. Donovan McNabb.
Donovan McNabb for the time. No, he's not on the list. I would have said, am I wrong here? Vinny Testaverde?
That would be correct.
Wow. Yeah. I remember those days.
He's fourth.
And was McNair third?
What's the gap, though? Like, give me the gap.
There's got to be a huge gap.
The gap between who?
Like
2 and
1
3.
and 2 or 2 and 3, yeah.
The gap between Jackson and Kyle Bowler, who is 3, is...
Kyle Bowler.
I'll put it this way. Jackson's got 1,500 yards. Kyle Bowler's got almost 8.
Oh, 15,000 to 8,000.
Yeah.
Okay,
From 2
so
to 3, so 7,000.
7,000 yard gap.
And how many did who was number 1 on the list? We said
Flacco.
Flacco has what? 30, 40,000 passing yards?
He's got 38,000.
So the gap between 1 and 2 is still massive.
All right, so who else is on this list, Brent?
All right, like I said, Flacco's 1, Jackson's 2, Kyle Bowler was 3, Vinny was 4, Steve McNair was 5, Tony Banks was 6.
Oh, man.
Elvis Gerback, he was
man,
7.
Man.
Former Niner.
Anthony Wright was number 8. Eric Zier was number 9. And I forgot he even played for them. I always remembered him as a Bengal. But Jeff Blake was number 10. Jeff Blake had an awesome deep ball.
Yeah. Victor, congratulations. You've got 2 free tickets for next Wednesday's 44th Annual DirecTV Holiday Bowl. Louisville from the ACC SC from the Pac-12. Wednesday, December 27th, 5 p.m. right here on San Diego Sports 760. Petco Park, downtown San Diego. 2 free tickets for Victor after Jim messed up the lifeline. Do you feel like you don't feel bad when I mess up a lifeline? I mean, it happens.
I mean, I gave like a quality guess.
It was. Yes, you're right. He played for the Ravens.
It's just on top of my mind.
How many yards did Dilfer have for the Ravens?
1,502.
Okay.
Wait, 1,500?
Yeah, 1,502.
Oh, wow. So how many years did he play there? Like 2 or 3?
1.
1 and 15.
2,000.
Oh, that's it. Oh.
All right. On the other side,
he came in and got his Super Bowls. Like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, peace out. Bye.
On the other side, we'll get to the wrap. Plus, Jon and Jim's 12 Days of Christmas. You need to hear it. We'll give some gifts to Brent. We've got a back page coming up. Stay with us on Jon and Jim.
All right, this update's brought to you by Staples Stores. Aztecs beat Stanford last night, 74-60. They improved to 10-2 on the year. Next up for the Aztecs, they take on Gonzaga on December 29th on the road, 6 p.m. tip-off there. Dodgers, they signed Yoshinobu Yamamoto to a 12-year, $325 million deal. Padres countered that by bringing back Luis Patino today off of waivers. Staples Print Big Sale means the more you print, the more you save. Get $20 off your print purchase of $100 or more, $50 off your print purchase of $200 or more, and $100 off your print purchase of $300 or more. Ends 2/10/24. See staples.com/print for details. Print more, save more. Staples.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Final hour of Jon and Jim before the Christmas holiday. If you missed Jon and Jim's 12 Days of Christmas last year, how could you possibly? Nobody's missed that.
Nobody.
Clearly
Everyone's watching it all. I mean, they've just been listening to it every single day
on
up
replay.
on replay.
So if you missed it, though, we'll play it back for you coming up in about 10 minutes or so. We're going to give Brent his holiday gift from Jon and Jim coming up at 5:30. We'll have Jim's back page fittingly without Jim for the final segment here today.
Very
because Jim's got a 10:30 flight tonight, so he's got to get out of here.
I have a flight
tomorrow morning.
Yeah, tomorrow morning. Yeah.
Now, do you have pre-check?
No.
Does Aaron?
Yeah.
So does she go through without you?
No, she stays with me.
She stays with you.
We also have.
I wouldn't. I'd be like, all
I
right,
know,
I'll meet you at TGI
Taking off the
Fridays in
shoes,
an
man,
hour.
is the worst.
Here is another reason why we need to be there early. We are bringing Bentley with us.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
So
She travels with Bentley. That's
So
right.
does he sit with you, or does he like go below the deck or whatever you call it?
No, he doesn't go underneath, right?
he sits underneath our feet.
But he's not in the luggage.
No.
He's
Well,
with
that's
the
what I
passengers.
meant. You know, when
No
they put them
way
in the
in hell.
kennels.
No,
No.
Aaron would lose her mind.
I don't think they even allow that anymore because
I
like
don't think
dogs
they
can
do.
like
There's
literally
been
like
issues.
legitimately like die like
Yeah.
being underneath there.
Wait, so every time she travels east, she takes her dog.
She takes Bentley. Yeah, Bentley. I will say this.
So he's like
is-
a dual citizen, New
pretty
Jersey
much,
and
yeah.
California.
He has his own like service dog like vest and
Oh,
everything.
does he?
Yeah, he is. I'm knocking on wood right now, but every time I've traveled with Bentley, which has been a lot,
Mm-hmm.
he's amazing. He is one of the best travel dogs I've ever seen. Like ever.
Have you seen a lot of travel dogs?
I've seen a lot of like people travel with
people
animals,
traveling with dogs. Yeah,
and
okay.
it's and a lot of times it's they either bark or they're not calm.
So do they put
Do,
Bentley
do
on?
people like give you a side eye when you go on the plane with the dog?
No,
No.
no.
Unless the
I feel
dog
like
is-
I get stared at just for taking Peanut to Walmart. I can't imagine taking her on an airplane for.
if you have the
6
little
hours.
vest that says service, people deal with
Yeah.
it. Let me ask you this: does Bentley go through like the conveyor belt, like the security?
No.
Does Bentley go through the security like X-ray machine?
Yeah, like Total Recall.
when
No.
you're a service dog, you get certain perks. That's why Aaron gets to travel with Bentley through like pre-check, and because he's a service dog, like they don't have to like check him or anything. It's
You have
just,
to check the dog.
you have to have like your stuff. And well, actually, no, I take that back. They do have to check him. They do check him because
Yeah, look at his paws, like he's
no,
good.
no, it was vest. They have to make sure nothing's in
Got
his vest. But he's very good. He's very calm. He's quiet. We give him actually some trazodone to make him like really, really calm.
Oh, really?
Which
Okay,
is a key.
I might want some trazodone.
He'll knock you out right away.
Traveling with you.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to this. Oh. Love it.
Can Ruben Niebla salvage Luis Patino's career?
I have faith in Ruben Niebla. I
Mm-hmm.
do. I just this is a lot of work for him. Like this is not a guy that was a former Cy Young Award winner that you have to get back on track, or the best closer in the game that you have to get back on track. Like this is a guy that's never even gotten to a point, right? And to ask him potentially to pitch a lot of innings next year, like over under right now, 70 innings for Luis Patino next season.
Under, I would take.
Under,
Yeah.
okay.
Big leagues.
What do you
More,
think?
but it'll be in the minors.
In the big leagues, I would say under, because I mean, is he really going to start for the Padres next year?
I think
If
so.
that could be a concern.
Well,
I say if he does, that's
You
bad.
think he's their number 5 starter?
I wouldn't put it out of like the realm of
Possible.
possibility
Yeah.
that he potentially starts the year, depending on how he does in spring training with the big league club and he gets some starts early on before they can find out like the solutions in their rotation. Like, imagine this. This is their rotation next year. Ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Darvish, Musgrove, Michael King, Pedro Avila, Luis Patino. A lot of righties.
Yeah, no, I don't think that. I think they'll at least get one via free agency would be my guess.
I mean, no lefties at all.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. I mean, he's made 23 career starts.
Yeah.
At best, for me, he's a spot starter next year.
So, do you think you can save him, or not save him?
Yes, I think that Luis Patino still has.
Fix him now.
I still think he's got a future because he's 24 years of age, and yeah, his numbers aren't great, but there's time. I feel like if he was 34, I'd be like, this guy's done. At 24, I feel like there's still time for him to be, saved by Ruben Niebla potentially, but we'll see if he can do it in 2024 or not. Next question.
What's wrong with the Lakers recently, not just in general?
It's not the in-season tournament anymore.
That's right. They need that all year.
No motivation.
Isn't that wild? They went 7-0 in the in-season tournament. And then now they're like
1-5 since.
Not only 1-5 cents, but just regular season games, not in-season tournament games. They're under 500.
That's crazy. Yeah.
So I don't know, man. Because I thought they were a pretty damn good team watching them in the in-season tournament. I was like, they got some length, size,
right?
Defensively, they look pretty solid. If LeBron's going to play like that and Anthony Davis, but that's the problem. LeBron can't play like that every night.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Davis is not going to play like that every night because he one night shows up, next night he does. Like, he is very hit and miss. I don't know, man. It's if you're a Lakers fan, you're like, what the hell happened? Now there's still plenty of time, obviously,
sure.
but what about you? Your answer. It's your turn. Your turn.
My answer is because I'm looking here like, my guess is that, they had flaws last year that they kind of figured out late in the year, but they started horrifically. I think the expectations are they have a chance to be better than they were last year, but they're kind of, they're old. They're flat out old. Their stars are, to your point, LeBron's not playing 40 minutes a game. AD isn't overly reliable, and they're 15-14 overall. That's kind of what you expected coming in, right? Did you expect 20-8, or do you expect 15-14? I think they are what you expected them to be outside of 6-7 good games in this in-season tournament for whatever reason. Next question.
Will the Padres' new hitting coach last more than one season?
So we haven't mentioned this. Hold on, let me pull it up here.
So with the Guardians for the last 6 years or something?
Yeah, a lot of people were like, well, the Guardians were like last in baseball in offense last year. Who is this guy? Victor Rodriguez. Rodriguez is 61 years old. He served as an assistant hitting coach for the Boston Red Sox from 2013 to 2017. So you got the Xander connection there. And he was with the Cleveland Guardians from 2017 to 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is he going to last more than a year?
I'll say yes.
I'll say
because one of these guys got to make a lot.
Yeah, I'll just say no because it seems like nobody does. I don't think there's, I hate to say this, but I don't want to hear credit for the hitting coach when Manny Machado hits 300, and I don't want to discredit the hitting coach when Manny Machado hits 230. Like, I think you're putting too much in the hands of a hitting coach. I think there's probably some level of value, but this team's just got to perform regardless of who their hitting coach is. I don't care if it's Ryan Flaherty or Victor Rodriguez or whomever it is.
Ruben Niebla.
I was about to say Victor Robles.
I thought you were going to say Victor Wembanyama.
They just got to hit. I don't care who's the hitting coach.
Yeah, just hit the baseball with runners in scoring position. Situational hitting. Don't take fastballs down the middle of the plate. Have an approach. Is that difficult? It seems like it is around here, but hey, we'll figure it out. We'll find out.
Now I'm just imagining Wembanyama in the batter's box having to stand 8 feet back because his arms are like 13 feet long.
His strike zone would be amazing, right? It would be the biggest strike zone in the history of baseball.
Now, you may recall that Victor Rodriguez, maybe they signed him as the hitting coach because of what he did in the big leagues when he was 12 of 28 in his career.
It's good. Good to have.
That's he hit like 500. He's like the best hitter in the history of baseball. He hit 12 of 28 in his career in the big leagues.
Suck it, Ted Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Next question.
Were you guys impressed by the Aztecs last night?
Second half, I was. And you know what? Screw it. First half, I was too because Jaden Ledee got 2 fouls within like 30 seconds of being out there.
Minute 34.
It was. I got home. I hadn't turned the game on yet. And it was 6
5 or something.
or no, it was it was like 7:15 or 7:10, I think.
Yeah.
And you texted me like Jalen D 2 fouls. Oh my god.
Yeah, you're like season over.
I'm like, wait, well, the game just started.
Right.
So to be in the first half, have a lead at halftime,
Yeah.
and then kind of pretty
They
much
dominate
the second half. Yeah, it was an impressive win, a game they needed to win.
Honestly, I think the most we learned about them was without Jaden Ledee. You had Miles Heide play 16 first half minutes and grab 7 rebounds. San Diego State out-rebounded Stanford. Stanford was way bigger than the Aztecs. If anyone watched this game, their 7-1 center is extremely talented. I was really impressed by him. Now, they didn't have Spencer Jones, who's a great player, Stanford, but San Diego State outplayed Stanford last night. To your point, specifically in the second half, but I think you learned something about your team when Ledee's not available for 18-plus minutes, an All-American candidate, and you can go to the locker room with a lead is a very encouraging sign.
Now, Stanford was out without
Spencer Jones.
Spencer Jones, potentially their best player.
Yep.
But still,
and they're not. Listen, yeah, I mean, Stanford's been down.
Yeah, if teams without their best player, then you need to kind of you kind of need to impose your will. You need to take advantage of that opportunity. And I think in the second half, they absolutely did that.
Can I rip the net for 1 second? I know the net sometimes listens in the 5 o'clock hour.
Yeah, you can rip it.
San Diego State wins by 14. They were 8.5-point favorites. They went down 2 spots in the net. And Stanford went up 4 spots in the net.
Is that bad?
It doesn't make any sense. You win by 14 at home, and that's not good enough for the net rankings. I need to talk to the net. I'll call them this weekend. All right. How do we set up the Jon and Jim 12 Days of Christmas? Just by playing it?
So
this is from last year.
This is our holiday Jon and Jim.
Like every year.
12 Days of Christmas. And we put this together for you guys.
A year ago.
But it's evergreen, so it applies.
I haven't heard this in 1 year.
So here is the 12 Days of Jon and Jim Christmas. Jon and Jim gave to me a giant bald spot on the back of Jim's head. On the second day of Christmas, Jon and Jim gave to me 2 of John's dad shoes and a giant bald spot on the back of Jim's head. On the third day of Christmas, Jon and Jim gave to me 3 butchered updates, 2 of John's dad shoes and a giant bald spot on the back of Jim's head. On the 4th day of Christmas, Jon and Jim gave to me 4 movie references by Brent,
3 butchered updates,
2 of John's dad shoes, and a giant bald spot on the back of Jim's head. On the 5th day of Christmas, Jon and Jim gave to me
5 Ken Palm rankings,
4 movie references by Brent,
3 butchered updates,
2 of John's dad shoes, and a giant bald spot on the back of Jim's head. On the 6th day of Christmas, Jon and Jim gave to me 6 Jim's an idiot,
5 Ken Palm rankings,
4 movie references by Brent,
3 butchered updates,
2 of John's dad shoes, and a giant bald spot on the back of Jim's head. On the 7th day of Christmas, Jon and Jim gave to me
7 is that good tweets,
6 Jim's an idiot,
5 Ken Palm rankings,
4 movie references by Brent,
3 butchered updates,
2 of John's dad shoes,
and
a giant bald spot on the back of Jim's head. On the 8th day of Christmas, Jon and Jim gave to me 8 games of Trainwreck Radio,
7 is that good tweets,
6 Jim's an idiot,
5 Ken Palm rankings,
4 movie references by Brent,
3 butchered updates,
2 of John's dad shoes, and a giant bald spot on the back of Jim's head. On the 9th day of Christmas, Jon and Jim gave to me
9 college football alignment rumors,
8 games of Trainwreck Radio,
7 is that good tweets,
6 Jim's an idiot,
5 Ken Palm rankings,
4 movie references by Brent,
3 butchered updates,
2 of John's dad shoes, and a giant bald spot on the back of Jim's head. On the 10th day of Christmas, Jon and Jim gave to me 10 acai bowls,
9 college football realignment rumors,
8 games of Trainwreck Radio,
7 is that good tweets,
6 Jim's an idiot,
5 Ken Palm rankings,
4 movie references by Brent,
3 butchered updates,
2 of John's dad shoes,
and a giant bald spot on the back of Jim's head.
On the 11th day of Christmas, John and Jim gave to me
11. Hey, did you know I used to work in minor league baseball?
10 acai bowls,
9 college football realignment rumors,
8 games of Trainwreck Radio,
7 is that good tweets,
6 Jim's an idiot,
5 Ken Palm rankings,
4 movie references by Brent,
3 butchered updates,
2 of John's dad shoes,
and a giant bald spot on the back of Jim's head.
On the 12th day of Christmas, John and Jim gave to me 12 Jim sneezes,
11. Hey, did you know I used to work in minor league baseball?
10 acai bowls,
9 college football realignment rumors,
8 games of Trainwreck Radio,
7 is that good tweets,
6 Jim's an idiot,
5 Ken Palm rankings,
4 movie references by Brent,
3 butchered updates,
2 of John's dad shoes,
and a giant bald spot on the back
of Jim's head.
Merry Christmas. That is
Merry
dude,
Christmas.
That is good. If this show lasts another year,
Another
we
week?
could play for another year.
The way that things,
That thing lasts for 30 years.
the way that things are happening around this town.
Dude. That's like Ben
Christmas,
Fad.
you're fired.
Ben Fad just texted us. He's like, that's the best content you guys have ever made, which is a pretty good point.
It's the only
right up
content
there.
we've ever made.
Yeah, that's really the most
I'm
creative
just
we've
kidding.
ever been,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely like our song for
It's our song.
for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. The 12 days of John and Jim. Every year
If I were updating it, it'd
the
be
next 5 years.
like 5 complaining about $680 million deferred. You know what I mean? Like if I was going to make a change, it would probably add like 680 deferred.
I mean, there's a lot of things in there that are just like never going away.
Never
Like
going away.
never going away. Butchered updates.
It's very, to your point, it is evergreen. That's amazing. Like it was
Me sneezing.
nothing screamed 2022.
No, me sneezing. The back of my head. Your dad's shoes, which
My
you
dad-
are wearing New Balances as
No,
we
these
speak.
are nice.
I mean, just the prototypical New Balance dad shoes that you have on.
John's got next.
Kombucha.
That's
Oh, yeah,
right.
exactly.
No, we didn't say kombucha. We have acai. I'd upgrade
Acai.
acai for kombucha in 2023.
Hey, did you know you worked in minor league baseball?
Yeah, that's your favorite.
Yeah, that's a good one. Ken Palm rankings. You just,
Yes.
I mean,
and it
that
was
would
on cue.
never-
I was just like yelling at the net.
yeah, you're like, I'm so upset about this stupid net ranking in Ken
Right.
Palm.
Right.
So there you go. If you missed any of it, and you're listening to us right now, you're like, wait, play it again. Just go back and you can listen to on the Podcast Center, iHeartRadio app, or you can check us out on YouTube and you can see us and watch our reaction to everything.
Yeah, one of our big changes between 2022 and 2023 is we do now stream the show on YouTube. We've done it for the better part of the last half year. When did we start? August of this past year? July?
No, we started. Wait, we did start in August, didn't we?
Like not August. August.
September, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, August, September.
Couple
So
months.
4 or 5 months ago.
Been a couple months.
And we always tell people there's so many ways to consume the content of the show, whether it's San Diego Sports 760. Thank you. I always suggest take us with you. The free iHeartRadio app is an amazing resource for listeners.
Man. Yeah.
And then there's YouTube, which is an amazing way to consume the show as well. Search for Jon and Jim 760. You can find us on Twitter. We stream the shows there now because you can watch the YouTube stream on Twitter, right?
Yeah, everything. I mean, the wrap-up show, Jon and Jim, we have it all. It's just the way of the world now. It really is. It's not just turning on a microphone
Yep.
anymore. It's how many ways can I consume content? Like, how many times do you honestly listen to podcasts through like YouTube now?
All the time.
All the time.
Yeah, I mean, I watch, I guess, yeah, I'm watching a podcast, I guess, when I'm on YouTube. You know what I mean? I
guess,
just watch
yeah.
shows on
But-
constantly,
But I mean, the iHeartRadio app just is
all the time.
all the time.
Yep.
Every day.
Yep.
I actually listen to the iHeartRadio app on my phone. I plug it into my car just because the
Yeah, me too.
quality of it's just like
Me too.
superior.
I use it through, like the Apple Play system, and a lot of cars you have that. It's in the Apple Play system. There's the iHeartRadio app. Boom. I
Yep.
click on it. I can listen to Darren live on the way in. I can
Yeah.
listen to Darren Taped, Big Rich, TD, and Fletch podcast.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot of ways to consume us. That's the one thing I would say in 2024, expect more of that. If there's platforms where you can watch us and listen to us.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, also, honestly, to that point, where are we? Spotify, TuneIn Radio,
Yeah.
iHeartRadio app.
Yeah.
Which one am I missing?
The actual radio.
Yeah, but I think I have it at the top of the rundown. There's one other way to TuneIn Radio, Spotify, iTunes. So if you ever listen to us via like one of these platforms and you're listening on replay to a podcast, please leave a review. Seriously, we would appreciate that as well. All right, here's what we're going to do coming up on the other side. We have, if you're watching on YouTube, a gift for Brent.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to open some gifts on the other side with Brent. It is our final show before Christmas. Jim's going to be in New Jersey for the next week. We do have some shows for you next week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. On the other side, let's do a gift exchange with Brent on Jon and Jim. We have Jim's back page still ahead as well. Stay with us. All right, gift time. Christmas is here. It's our final show before Christmas. We're going to exchange some gifts with Brent on the other side, plus Jim's back page without Jim coming up. Stay with us.
All right, this update, my final update of the year. This is sad. It's brought to you by Staples Stores. Aztecs,
Shocking.
They beat Stanford last night 74-60. Next up for them, they take on Gonzaga December 29th on the road. The Dodgers, they made a huge move last night, signing Yoshinobu Yamamoto, 12 years, $325 million. And the Padres, they brought back Luis Patino today off of waivers. Staples Print Big sale means the more you print, the more you save. Get $20 off your print purchase of 100 or more, 50 off your print purchase of 200 or more, and 100 off your print purchase of 300 or more. Ends 2/10/24. See staples.com/printbig for details. Print more, save more. Staples.
All right, happy holidays to everyone out there, our listeners, our viewers, to Jon and Jim throughout this 2023 year. We're going to celebrate an anniversary with our listeners on January 10th. We're looking forward to that. You know, the one thing I want for the holidays and for Christmas this year is this Yuki Matsui deal to get done. Is it going to be done this Christmas or next Christmas?
What is happening?
Did a physical 4 days ago?
So it was reported today that the Padres are hiring a new hitting coach.
That's not Yuki Matsui.
No, just hear me out. All right. They're hiring a new hitting coach, Victor Rodriguez. That was reported by Francis Romero.
Okay.
Baseball sports reporter in
Nigeria.
I think.
Is he related to George?
No,
okay, we know.
I don't
Okay,
know.
yeah, we know.
My point is, we're seeing all these reports like
Mhm.
Yuki Matsui, hitting coach, right? When is this going to become official anytime soon? Like, are we just going to have to wait till like next year? I mean,
Christmas morning?
like, yeah, surprise, Yuki Matsui. Here you go.
I don't know. It's very odd.
It was reported 3 days ago.
Monday, 4 days
4
ago.
days ago.
Yeah. That's a long time. In like the way baseball operates, you don't wait 5 days between physicals and signings. It doesn't work like that. So I don't know why.
It's weird because I just Googled his name.
Yeah.
And I got an article from 8 hours ago, Sports Illustrated. MLB analyst breaks down what Padres are getting in Yuki Matsui.
They haven't even announced it.
I know. That's why I think
What
it's
they're
funny.
getting is nothing because he's not even on their team, unfortunately. All right, should we open up some gifts, Jim? And by open up gifts, I mean have Brent open gifts on air.
Yeah. So this is from me and John.
Right.
And don't worry, it's not like a car or anything.
Well, yeah, I didn't think there was syringes in here. I'm not worried about that.
All right, so
John
Brent
told me to pull one thing out.
Yes.
Brent is reaching
Okay.
reaching into the
Reaching
secret
in.
bag. He's pulling out a
$25 gift shell gift card.
Yeah.
gas money.
These are all $25 in amount, by the way. Okay.
Next up is
Hey, PlayStation.
$25
$25 PlayStation card.
I think a PS5 costs like $9. You can get a couple.
I told John that he had an Xbox. He's
I'm like, are you
serious?
Yeah, see, nobody has an Xbox.
Now, what do you do though? Before you go to the next one, what do you do with the place? It's a serious question. Like, you're buying games through the system, or what do you do with the $25 PlayStation?
Well, this year you have to pay for to play online for PlayStation.
Okay.
So usually what I always do is that'll be like when my parents go, well, what do you want for Christmas?
That.
Pay for my
subscription.
PlayStation subscription.
Is it a
for the
monthly
year.
or an annual?
You can do it either way. It's cheaper if you do it annual.
How much is it? It's probably not
They
cheap.
jacked up the prices this year. So yeah, no, it's not cheap. It's
Couple
almost
$100.
yeah. Well, no, it's like if I went up a tier last year, so
Mhm.
it's like $130.
But you can buy games.
But you get free games with it.
When I was a kid, I'm sounding like a Hartman.
When I was a kid.
You would go seriously. You'd go into the store. You get the game.
Yeah.
Does anyone do that, or you now just
no, because you can just download it
Download the
now.
game.
All right. Apparently, I've
And
gotten
because
older.
of I used to do physical copies, but
Right.
GameStop just pretty much rips everyone off. You can buy a new game now for $70, take it into GameStop to trade it the next day, and they'll give you like $20 for it.
So it's
you're
like
lucky.
DVDs. Nobody really has them anymore.
Yeah, pretty much.
You just watch it on whatever.
Yes.
Download it.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Next gift card.
Next gift card is
Hey, Chewy.
Chewy.
That's more of
for
a
peanut
gift.
There
I
we
was
go.
just gonna get some biscuits for myself.
Next
And
up,
the
final gift
final gift
card
card
is
Hey, DQ. Now I just got to find one.
Dairy
DQ.
Queen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
not
haven't had
close.
no. The only one like off the top of my head that I can even remember is there's one up by Miramar.
Yes. I've been there. That's exactly right.
But yeah, I haven't had like Dairy Queen. I think since I moved.
And the thing is, a $25 gift card to
Thanks,
Dairy
guys.
Queen. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's a
absolutely,
lot
man.
of Blizzard.
That, I was gonna say, like, that kind of goes a long way.
Yeah.
Do they have Brazier Dairy Queens out here? That
Oh, I
they
know what
serve
you're talking
food.
about.
They do. I think
yeah,
that's sort of
Okay,
like
okay,
burgers and
because
stuff.
if it doesn't say Brazier underneath
But
it,
that
they just do
one,
ice cream.
the one you're referring to, or one I've been to in San Diego County, was just like dessert. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
whatever.
Brent, there is a Dairy Queen. Hold on. There's a Dairy Queen. Exactly. Where's the stupid address? 7 minutes away.
7 minutes from here?
7 minutes from here.
Oh, okay.
Go after work one.
Yeah,
day
just
or
type in
before
Dairy
work.
Queen. It's on Santos Road. 5950 Santos Road.
And the truth is, I mean, I don't need to say this. I mean, I do need to say it. Because I don't know if people fully realize it. Brent does a ton of stuff that I don't think people really understand what goes into this. And honestly, me and Jim have the perspective because we've both served comparable roles to Brent's role over the period of time that we've worked in radio. And honestly, having done both, what to me is the harder of the jobs. Would you agree with this? To me, what is the harder of the jobs is Brent's job as opposed to being an on-air host. Would you agree with that?
It's more of a
I mean, you got
it's
to
like
make sure it runs
taxing.
smoothly.
yeah,
Well,
because
because it never ends.
It never
like
ends.
even when you guys
Yes.
are doing interviews and stuff and segments, I'm here, working on the wrap or looking for backstage
podcasting.
or back page stuff for Jim or I'm always constantly doing something.
When I did it, I would constantly get a call from our program director. I kid you not. The first Brian or Kyle Engelhart would
You
call me
messed it
like, the mics are hot. Or there's nothing on the
I
air.
know, I know.
Like things like that. And Brent, knock on wood, maybe.
Don't do it.
But that does not happen with Brent.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because in the year I did it for Mark and Rich, I had about 1,400 issues, is the way I remember it.
I've been running the board for like over
I
20
know.
years though.
No,
So
I know.
Yeah. No,
Still.
I ran the board a lot.
Yeah, you've done a lot.
A lot.
in your
Like
career.
I go back there and I'm like, okay, let me just remember how to do this real quick.
Yeah.
It's
Is it riding a bike?
yeah,
A little bit.
yeah, it is.
I think I could, in an emergency, I could do it, right, Brent? Do I know what I'm doing?
No, you
No.
I don't think so.
Well, Jim says that too, but remember the last time Jim ran the board?
Oh, that was a disaster.
That was it. Were you sick or was that something peanut related?
No, it was peanut related because she was sick and I had to take her to the vet, but I could
will,
only
like,
take her at
come
3:30.
back
Yeah.
now.
Like, oh no,
Dude, I don't even remember what Jim was doing that day. What happened? You couldn't get callers on the air.
The phone
He
wasn't
couldn't get
working.
callers on the air.
It was the ultimate train wreck.
It was a train wreck. But it just goes to show the importance of that role.
Yeah.
And people don't really fully understand it. They're like, oh, on air. But no. There is no on air, especially like in local radio. We don't work for like Sirius XM. We don't work in New York City. There aren't dozens of people responsible for our like audio content day in and day out. It's Brent who's responsible for it.
Right. If we didn't have Brent,
we wouldn't be on the air.
It'd be a problem.
Right. Exactly. That's my point. So, Brent, thank you, man. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Brent will be so when we come back, Jim's back page, by the way, is on the other side. Jim's going to leave because he's got a 10:59 p.m. flight out of San Diego.
I have to go down back to Imperial Beach.
Right.
Pack up. I've already packed, but some stuff I have to put in my backpack.
That's fine.
Then we have to drive to the airport, get Bentley through everything, get him ready to go.
That makes sense.
But I just want to say thank you to everybody for this year. It's been amazing. Next year is going to be even better. Happy holidays to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Merry Christmas. A happy New Year. I'll see you guys and talk to you guys after the New Year on the 2nd.
Hopefully.
We'll see. But yeah, everybody have a Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and love everybody out there.
Merry Christmas, Jim. Safe travels with Aaron and Bentley on your like 4 layover.
Don't put that on me.
You're doing.
Do not put that on me, dude.
No, it's not. There's no you're going direct, right?
We're direct, but there could I'm not even going to say it.
Is there weather?
I'm not going to say
weather in Philly, though? I'm serious. What is it?
Delays.
Are there already delays?
There's some people, yeah.
Some people. Okay.
Weathered, bro.
You're going to Philly and then you're driving to Jersey, right?
Yeah, her dad's actually has like a chauffeur picking us up from the airport.
Oh, how'd the other half live?
So
That's
like,
nice.
it's those people that have like the signs like.
Oh, it's going to say like Aaron?
Like Jim and Aaron, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. Fittingly, we'll do Jim's back page up next without Jim. Stay with us on Jon and Jim. All right, on the other side, our final segment before Christmas here on Jon and Jim. Stay with us. All right, Jim's gone. He's on his way for San Diego International. His flight leaves at midnight.
All right, let's talk about how much Brock Purdy sucks.
Yeah, Jim, this is for you. Nobody cares about Brock Purdy. Nobody cares about Steph Curry. Nobody cares about Draymond Green. Nobody cares about Christian McCaffrey. What else does nobody care about that Jim always talks about on the radio?
That's pretty much everything.
That's basically all he talks about. That bothers us. I mean, he talks a lot of, to be honest, he talks a lot of San Diego sports, Padres, Aztecs, and the like. But I know Jim's he's probably like fuming right now in the car.
All the cars next to him think he's gonna like go into some road rage incidents.
Right.
Like, they said Brock Purdy sucks.
Exactly. And no, he said yesterday, it was in the show open for the last 3 hours, that he's over the Purdy hate. Like when Colin Cowherd said he's the 9th best player in this Ravens-Niners game. By the way, Jim,
I wouldn't even go that far.
Jim had me believing that this Niners-Ravens game was in Baltimore. And he's like, yeah, the Niners are whatever it is, 4 or 5 point favorites. I'm like, in Baltimore? That's crazy. But then Chris Hodge yesterday was like, Ravens travel across the country playing in San Francisco. I'm like, wait, does Chris have that wrong? I looked it up today. I didn't look it up yesterday because I didn't care. I looked it up today. The game's in San Francisco, Jim. Clean it up. I remember my first time being a Niners fan. He's going to kill us.
First, he didn't know the Warriors played the Celtics the other day.
Right. And then he's like, Steph's back. He had a big 3. Like November 9th, he's back. We're not, spoiler alert, there is no back page because Jim bailed on us. And typically, if we know Jim's going to bail, Brent's going to put in the work to prepare a back page.
And I had to do double shows today. So,
yeah. So you got here 11 o'clock hour?
Yeah.
And Peanut's been, now you have access to see what Peanut, your dog, is doing.
She was still sleeping. She woke up at one point and was watching cartoons, but then she went back to bed.
So right now she's sleeping.
I don't know. I have to wait. My pet camera is so sensitive that if the TV flashes or like the fan moves a blanket, I will get a notification telling me that there's motion. So I've gotten to the habit now of I shut the camera off and then I turn it on when I just want to check it out, because otherwise it just freaks me out.
Jim, don't text and drive. He's so mad. So Peanut is awake or sleeping based.
I don't know. The camera's refreshing.
camera's
I think
refreshing.
she's sleeping.
Seriously though, this was you think about 2023 because now we'll have shows still in 2023 next week, but you like think about everything that's happened in San Diego in 2023. Like I think the lasting like image of 2023 in San Diego sports is Lamont Butler, is it not?
It should be. It's that, or like Darren said, the other top story is the death of Peter Seidler.
No doubt.
So it's for me, it's those two things. Those are the big, SD sports stories of the year.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, Lamont's shot is going to be remembered for forever in San Diego. The disappointment of the Padres, obviously, considering all the expectations heading into the year, nobody ever I guess you never expect someone to pass, but when we found out that Peter had passed, that to me was shocking when it had happened. In 2024, I mean, I think it's bright. Again, the Padres, the expectations were crazy in 2023. Maybe they're more realistic in 2024. It's hard when you see everything that the Dodgers have done around them this offseason. But again, there's not just one team that makes the postseason in the National League. There's going to be 3 wildcard teams. Not to say that it's impossible to contend in the division. It's not going to be easy. They haven't done it in a while. But
and just because you have a super team doesn't mean you're going to win in any sport. Remember that year the Lakers had Karl Malone and Gary Payton, and they lost. So it's going to be
LeBron's first year in Miami.
Yeah, it's going to be tougher for the other non-Dodger teams, but it's not a guarantee.
No, 100%. It's really not. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. 2024 is here again. We're back next Wednesday after Christmas, Holiday Bowl edition of the show from 3 to 5, and then me and Rich Ornberger will be on the call. SC Louisville 5 p.m. from Petco Park.
You and Rich going to go sprawl the flag out?
I don't think we're going to do that. But there's an opportunity to do that, right?
Yeah.
To volunteer to do that.
Yeah, if you want to volunteer, you'll get a free Holiday Bowl ticket.
I think Big Rich TD and Fletch tweeted out information on that today.
Yeah, Darren did too, I think. Yeah, because you have to show up there early because you have to go through like prep so they can tell you what you're going to have to do and the routine and everything. But
all right.
Yeah, you want a free ticket to the Holiday Bowl, look it up.
Volunteer.
Because you can volunteer and help them sprawl out the flag for the national anthem.
I think you can see
it on TV.
You can see it on Big Rich TD and Fletch's Twitter feed. All right, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. We'll catch up next week. We'll get you ready for the Holiday Bowl on Wednesday. We'll get you ready for San Diego State Gonzaga next Friday night, by the way, as well. 1 week from tonight. Brent, great job. Happy holidays for Jim en route to New Jersey with his fiance, Erin. I'm John. Keep it right here. We'll catch up next week. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Be safe. Thank you. Seriously, thank you to all of our listeners right here on San Diego Sports 760. Okay.